Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Tasha.
I'm Allun.
And we are Tasha and Allun's Disney Adventures. And today we just thought we would do a bit of a trip report really on New York, because we really haven't done many trip reports at the end of any of our videos, our series. So we thought we would do some because they're quite nice for you guys to hear our thoughts. I mean, you've seen the videos, but it's quite nice to actually talk about it in a little bit more detail now.
A bit different, and thinking back on what we liked, what we didn't like, that kind of thing.
Exactly. So New York, we went this year. We went in January, and it was meant to be very cold, but we were very lucky, weren't we?
Yeah, January is usually cold and really cold. You know someone who'd just come back from...
Yes, I worked with a lady who just come back from New York, and she was like, "Oh, Tasha, it's freezing. You're going to have to double up on your leggings." So we like panicked then, didn't we? And then just packed everything we could.
Bought thermals.
We bought thermals, but did we need them?
No.
No, it turned out that in January at that time they kind of just had a heat.
So it's a bit of a warm spell, wasn't it?
It was, wasn't it? Yeah. And it was
quite nice.
actually, yeah, absolutely. It was so nice to walk around and stuff. It does look like you're wearing my ears. I just realised that.
Yeah, I just saw that.
But it's actually Eeyore behind us wearing the ears. So yeah, so let's have a chat then. Yeah. Flights. Let's start at the beginning.
Yeah,
flights.
so we basically booked with a travel agency this one, because we found a really good deal, didn't we? So
yes.
It was flights, hotel, and the New York Explorer Pass.
Yeah.
And it was actually Virgin Economy Delight flights as well, out of London Heathrow, which was really nice.
Yeah, because we don't live too far away from Heathrow, so it's easier to get to for us.
Yeah, very easy for us, so yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we decided to fly on a Sunday.
Because that was also cheaper. Sometimes to fly not on Saturdays or Fridays. Sometimes it's
weekdays. Yeah, Mondays and Fridays usually are generally more expensive. But yeah, we had a very early morning flight. It was what, 8 o'clock, 8:30, something like that in the morning.
Yeah, I remember getting up very, very early in the morning. When you see that video at the beginning and it's all happy music behind the camera, no, there was not a happy face.
But yeah, having an early morning flight and getting to Heathrow as early as we did, it was actually really quite empty.
It was, yeah.
And we got through, we were able to check in and get through security, and we're through duty free probably in to duty free in what, 15 minutes? It was that quick. Yes,
and the staff was so friendly and nice, and it was so easy. Sometimes when you go through airport security, it's not that easy, is it?
No.
As you saw when we were coming home from New York. But yeah, Heathrow was lovely, and then we had a little look round, and then you saw us have our breakfast at that lovely restaurant. So there's a couple of restaurants you can choose at Heathrow Airport. Which terminal again? Sorry, Terminal 3.
Terminal 3, Virgin.
Terminal 3, sorry. Yeah, there's lots of things to do there and see. There's a bit of shopping, and yeah, food-wise, yeah, there are a lot of options. And we did look at a couple of menus, and that menu just really said.
And we did think about getting lounge access, because we've done lounges before. And you can get lounges quite cheap through like Virgin Atlantic credit card and Virgin Flying Club and stuff like that. But because we were going on a budget, we wanted to do it cheap, didn't we? Because
yeah, this was
we might have
holiday.
some things coming up.
Yes. Well, yes.
We thought, let's do it. We were trying to do it cheap, so we decided not to do the lounge, and actually it wasn't so bad, was it? It was...
No, actually, but then we have a relative who works at Heathrow, and they came and saw us, and we had coffee with them and a nice catch up with them, so that made time really go fast, and we didn't feel like we had to wait for our flight for too long. And then boarding onto the flight was fine. I mean, it happened so quick.
Yeah, it's a bit of a walk round Heathrow, because Terminal 3 Virgin always seems to be at the furthest far away gate. And ironically, it was at the last gate.
Yeah. But you have those travelator things that I love getting on. And then you go, woo! And then you get off and you go, woo!
You're not on holiday till you go on one, right?
Exactly.
But yeah, so we decided, so we went on that. We got through. Because we were Economy Delight, we ended up getting priority through the check-in part at the gate. We were one of the first people on the aircraft. Now, the aircraft is one of Virgin's new Airbus A350-1000s.
What was it called? Do you remember?
I can't remember what. I remember what the first one was, Red Velvet, which is the first one which we flew home on, but I can't remember the name of the one.
The first one.
But it was one of the newer ones, because I think they've got like 3 or 4 now, and it was either the 3rd or 4th one they had got, and because we got Economy Delight, we had awesome seats.
Yes, so if you go back to our first vlog, I will link below our New York trip if you haven't seen it. You will see there's a photo that I've taken of Allun where he's just sat and there are no seats in front of him, and it was just
unlimited legroom.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And even my seat was amazing. Like, it was wide. I didn't feel like I was on top of the person who was sat next to us. If we needed to go to the toilet, I could go round where Allun was and we could just scoot round that way. I loved our seats on the way out. Loved it. They were so comfortable. Really
nice flight. Generally the flight was good. Bit of turbulence going.
Oh yes. I am not the best flyer. I'm honest, I'm not. I don't mind when I get up there. I don't like the takeoffs or the landings, but turbulence. Now, I know I shouldn't be worried about turbulence. I've read so much, you know, on turbulence, and like, I should be okay. But as soon as it happens, I don't know why, my body just panics and I'm just grabbing onto Allun so tight, and he's like, oh, get off.
I actually have to take my wedding ring off because she actually take my finger out.
Yeah, there has been a couple of stories where I've made certain people's hands go blue. Oops. But when we were up there, it was good. And I don't have plain food. So I used to, don't get me wrong, I used to. But I never ate a lot and I never liked it, and then it made me hungry, really, and cranky. When I don't eat, I get cranky. You know, I think most of us do. I think most of us can relate to that. So Allun happened to find that Virgin do a fruit platter, didn't you?
Yeah.
And I tried it and I really liked it.
On a flight we done like 2018.
Yeah, and that was to Disney World actually. And it was so good. The fruit was fresh, the apples were nice, bananas, oh, they were so good. And so ever since then I've just
they do apple crisps, don't they?
Oh, the cherry flavoured raisins are one of my favourite things that they give you in that. That's, oh, they're so nice. So if you like something different and you do like fruit, I would definitely highly recommend that if you don't like plain food. I would also suggest...
You get served first as well.
I do get served first. Priority. If you do need more than just fruit, which I do sometimes, so we buy sandwiches at the airport and we take the sandwiches on to the flight as well, so we have something else to eat if I do get a bit hungry, or if Allun doesn't like the food sometimes, because he gets the plain food. But you don't mind it so much, do you?
I don't mind it, yeah. I don't mind it.
No. So yeah, the flight was amazing and we landed in JFK.
Because we got the very early flight. We landed, what, New York time was about midday. So actually we had virtually that whole evening to do whatever we wanted. So we planned the holiday in such a way that we flew in very early on the Sunday and flew out very late on the Friday. So we maximised all the time we had in the city to get the most from it. And
exactly. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So the flight going was really good. The flight coming back,
not so good.
You don't like night flights though. You're never good with night flights.
No. Night flights and me don't mix. I don't sleep on them. I don't sleep very well on them, and I think a lot of people relate to that as well. A lot of people can't. I do envy those people who can just sit on a night flight and just sleep. I mean, literally, they get on the blanket and then the next thing you know, someone's snoring next to you and you're just like, oh, I wish I could do that. Yeah, well, you do. I wish I could do that. And I can't, unfortunately. But when we got on the flight, there was definitely something different about the seats.
Well, we flew Red Velvet coming back. And Red Velvet was Virgin's first Airbus A350-1000. Which was, so that was the one they were inaugurally done all the test flights in Glasgow. Not that I follow this kind of stuff. But yeah, so it was the first one. But you thought the seats were a bit smaller, didn't you?
I definitely didn't feel as comfortable on those seats going back out. I felt they were a lot smaller and the belt just kept digging into my side. It didn't feel comfortable at all. I mean, Alan had the same sort of situation where he was able to get out. There was no seat in front of him.
We're in the exact same seats flying and going. So one thing I do is that as soon as I get my reservation, I make sure I book my seat straight away, because I know where I want to sit. I do my research in the planes. I know where I like to sit. And I got these as soon as we got them, because we booked, what, August last year?
Yeah, yeah. That seems such a long time ago now.
Yeah, and because we booked so early, we were able to get the seats we wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, but you weren't greatly enamoured with the flight coming back.
No, even with the fruit platter, the fruits didn't taste as fresh.
The New York fruits.
Sorry, any New Yorkers watching, I do like your fruits. It just didn't taste very fresh on the plane. But I normally like that fruit platter, so I will definitely still get it. It's not put me off in any way, shape or form. And then we just wanted to talk about our transfers as well, to and from the airport.
So you can get, so as soon as you come out, I think it's Terminal 4, I think it is at JFK. As soon as you come out, you go through immigration, and actually if you've been to America before, JFK is quite good because they've got the automated turnstiles where you can just scan everything and go through security. So we were actually out within about 20 minutes. It wasn't too bad. Yeah. Little queue, just trying to get in, but thank God we weren't in the first time.
That was a long queue.
Yeah, so we were able to get out pretty quick. As soon as you come out, if you go to your right, they actually have the yellow taxi cabs where you can pick up a yellow taxi, or there's a transfer desk. And because we decided, so the person we booked with advised us to get a yellow cab. Now he said that'd be about $70 each way, and we were going to do it, but then I found something on Attraction Tickets. So we're not sponsored.
No, not
sponsored.
No.
But so I was on Attraction Tickets looking at prices for other things, and discovered that they'd done transfers from them to JFK, and it's only like £17 per person each way. So I thought about it, read up on it. I didn't book it straight away. I actually probably didn't book it. I actually think I booked it about 3 weeks before we flew.
Yeah, we left it very late in the end, didn't we?
Yeah. But we decided to go with that, and literally there's a desk there. You get these pre-printed, you print off the vouchers, you hand it to them, and they book this shuttle bus that takes you to your hotel and picks you up from the hotel.
A shared one. We'd like to just say that it's shared, so multiple people from the airport will be picked up at the same time as you.
Up to about 12.
Yeah, but that wasn't a problem. It was really nice actually, because it meant you went to different parts of New York, because everyone was staying at different places, so it was quite nice, wasn't it, to see New York? Yeah,
so literally we drove out of JFK down. Now it is about a 2-hour journey in from JFK. Yeah. It's not quick, or what we found wasn't quick.
No.
Even on a Sunday afternoon, wasn't quick. So we didn't actually get to the hotel till about 2:20 to something like that, about 2:20. But it was fun. You got to see all the sights. So they took you into New York from the south, which was quite nice. So you got to go along the kind of Brooklyn side, I believe it is, and you got to see the whole of Manhattan.
Yeah.
From that side.
That was an awesome view, which is in our vlogs as well, so please go and have a look at it.
But it was really good. You got to, and that kind of, if you've never been to New York before, that shock and awe of seeing buildings that tall.
Oh yes, wow! Like you're on the ground and you're just looking up. It's out of this world, isn't it? So you started going out. So we then went across the bridge, got into New York. And got to a hotel, and we also got transfers back. So you have to book them at least 24 hours before. So you have to phone up from your hotel, pre-book them. They come and pick you up, hand the voucher. Now, leaving New York on a Friday night, that was an interesting experience. Yes.
We weren't picked up so our flight was at 9 o'clock. We have to be there 3-4 hours beforehand. They reckon, so they will pick you up 4 hours beforehand. So we got picked up about 5 hours there. So we got picked up about 4:15 to get there. But with all the traffic, we got there just after 6 o'clock.
Yes, it was a long journey back, so just bear that in mind.
And people were actually, you could hear people going in there, oh my god, this traffic, are we going to be able to get to the airport in time? People were getting worried, and because it's shared, they go to different terminals. So Virgin's Terminal 4, BA's Terminal 7, and he went to Terminal 7 first, and we're like, you know, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got there, we got checked in. Actually, check-in was quite good.
Yeah.
Security lines were long to get through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Standard American security lines. The only difference was they had dogs sniffing you this time.
Yeah.
So as you went through, they were literally holding people back, and there was this walk area where only 2 people could walk at any one time, and this guy was walking backwards and forwards with a dog.
And then the dogs are really cute, and you just want to go up and touch them, but you know you can't.
Yeah.
No go. But the airport, JFK Airport, is really lovely. There are so many things. It's really big. There's so much to see. There's a Pandora shop in there, Schwarzkopf shop, which again is all in our vlogs coming home, because we did go and investigate. There's a Victoria's Secret there. But no, that was great. So New York City Pass, that's how what we used to get round.
So yeah, basically as part of the booking was the New York City Pass. So there's different levels of New York City Pass. You can have a 3, a 5, a 7, I think, and a 10. So that's attractions, so you can basically go and see as many of attractions within a certain list, prepaid.
Yeah.
We went for the New York Explorer 5, so 5 attractions per person.
And our 5 attractions that we chose were the hop-on and hop-off bus, the 9/11 memorial, but we also went in the museum and had a tour, so that was 2 used there. We went to the Radio City tour, and then I went on the Top of the Rock.
So I only used 4 out of my 5, where you used 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah. Alan does not like heights, so he wouldn't have enjoyed going up there. I mean, you would have enjoyed the views, but you just would be so on edge. You just wouldn't have enjoyed it as much as you wanted to. So we want to talk about the hop-on and hop-off bus to begin with.
Yeah, so the hop-on and hop-off bus is a bus that goes around New York. Now there's 2 companies that do it. Make sure if you use the Go City Explorer you get the right company.
Yeah.
And there's an app you can download, and you can see where the stops are, and they do 5 different routes. They do what is called the downtown, the uptown, I think a Brooklyn one, and a couple of others. Now the New York City Pass only allows you to do the uptown and downtown routes, but it's unlimited on the day you do it. So for example, you can do, so we done the uptown and downtown just as on the first day as a route round on one go pass.
Yeah.
So basically, as you saw on our first day, we went all the way up on the uptown to Central Park Zoo, done Central Park Zoo, came back, and then jumped on the downtown and done the whole downtown route. Didn't actually jump off that time, and it's unlimited jump on and jump offs.
And you get to see all the sites basically using that bus.
You go past Chrysler Building, Grand Central Station,
Empire,
the
Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, you've got the buildings you don't even know, like the Woolworth Building, the old
Pan Am building, the old Pan.
Well, it's Metro Life now, but the old Pan Am building, Trump Tower you see.
Oh, what's that with the statue on the balls? The ball.
Oh,
with
that's kind of like the city bit where all the financial district.
Yeah.
You see the iron the iron building, one of the first skyscrapers ever made in America out of steel, because a skyscraper is considered made of steel. That's what makes a skyscraper.
So it's well worth it to use that, to see all the sites in one day, and you can get off. So if you have got a pass to something else like the Empire State Building, there is a bus stop that will stop outside, and you are
get
happy
off,
to go,
use it,
exactly,
jump back on,
and then
just have to keep your ticket. Keep your ticket.
Yes.
Now the only thing I would say about the jump on and jump off bus is that with the Go Pass, you can't. So even though you're allowed to use up to 5 attractions, you cannot use the bus as 2 of them. If you want to use it at the bus again, you have to pay for an upgrade.
Which we had to do.
$22 per person, which isn't bad, but it wasn't. I don't think made explicitly clear in the online information that, you know, because you pay for 5 and you're told you can use 5 for whatever you like. But when you go to attempt it, they say no, you've already used one and we won't accept another one. You have to pay for the upgrade. So we had to pay for the upgrade basically. But
they were worth. But
it's still
apart
worth
from
it.
that,
It's still
the hop on and hop off bus was.
It's still
well
a very worthwhile way of getting around New York. Yes, you could use the subway, which we never used. Yes, you could hire a yellow cab. You could even do Uber if you wanted to.
There's lots of ways around New York.
It's just we felt it was the best way to get around.
Yeah, it's our first time.
And it was a nice way. Go and sit up on the top of a deck and actually see the city.
Yeah.
You know, not directly to where you're going, stuck in a cab. You know, having awkward conversations with someone.
And the tour guides that are on the
all
bus.
of them have tour guides.
Yes, and they are fantastic. They're so funny. You get a set of earphones, you plug it in, and you can hear. Part of the package, and you get to hear all about the different types of buildings, cities. They give you little stories about where famous people have lived. They're really good, aren't they? And some of them are really
they
funny.
even give you ponchos. If it's raining, they give you ponchos you can wear and stuff like that. So yeah,
it's well worth it. So yes, we use that hop on hop off bus. Oh, and by the way, can we just talk about Central Park Zoo just a little bit? I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed going to Central Park Zoo.
Penguins,
hence why we have a penguin here. Penguins are my favourite animals, and that was one of the best things I did in New York. It was one of my highlights, was going to see the penguins. But I do suggest going, because actually it's not a full day zoo. It's not like if you're from London, you go to London Zoo and you have to be in London Zoo for the whole day. It's not that big. Yeah,
it's not as big as it's not very much smaller than I thought it'd be. When I hear zoo, I'm thinking London Zoo or
Whipsonade or anything like that. All the zoos that we have here in the UK are really big, and I'm sure there are lots of big ones in America. We've just never really been to one.
Or other parts of the country that we may not have been to.
Yeah.
I think I've been to Tasha Zoo as a kid, but that was a long time ago.
Okay, I've been to lots of zoos. But no, that was really nice to do as part of the day we were having.
But yeah, there were lots of things. The red panda, so the art on the front of our day 2, the red panda. I've looking at the video, it does not do justice to how cute that animal was. That was such a cute animal.
Oh, and I love the grizzly bears as well. I've never seen a grizzly bear. I've been to Canada twice. No, 3 times. Have I been 3 or twiise?
3 times we've been to
3
Canada.
times. I've been to the Rocky Mountains 3 times, and I've never seen twice. Oh my gosh.
No.
Oh, I thought we had.
Yeah, no, we've been 3 times. I'm thinking Vancouver. We've been Vancouver twice. And then we've done Toronto and
well, okay, let's get back to the grizzly bear, right? Yeah. I've never seen one. So, I was so pleased to just
So you see it in New York Zoo?
I know. I'm in the middle of New York and I see a grizzly bear. It's not every day you do that. But no, that was really cool. Okay, so let's carry on with our New Yorker pass. Otherwise I will digest onto penguin conversation. So the next city pass that we used was
9/11.
9/11. Okay, so it's really hard to explain 9/11 unless you've actually really been there. It's like comprehending the tragedy that happened, knowing how many people died there, and how beautiful it is now. Like, they have made a really beautiful memorial.
Yeah, it's a very, very beautiful memorial.
Yeah.
For me, it's just comprehending the scale, because you can see from one corner of the building, because they built the bases out in the fountains, and you can see from one corner of the building to the other corner of the building. You can see one full side of the building. The actual footprint of the buildings are so small.
Yeah, because on telly it looks so big and stuff.
But then the height, do you know what I mean? Because World Trade 1, which they've rebuilt, same height, 110 stories.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and so it's then comprehending that whole tragedy, and you just can't. You can't. It just took me back to when I saw it on telly, really, and I'm sure it did with you, didn't it? Like that, going back to the day that it happened. And I think that's the same for every person that's watching this. You know, when you think of 9/11, you'd automatically go back to the thought, where were you on that day? Because everyone remembers where they were on 9/11, don't they?
Yeah.
But
if you were alive and born at that point.
If you were, yeah, absolutely. And that's also a scary thing, isn't it? There's a lot of people out there who don't even know that happened, and they all have to learn about it through documentaries and school, and yet I was at school myself when it happened. I
remember what I was doing with my mates.
Yeah, you were at university, weren't you, at the time?
Yeah.
Anyway, but no, it was a really beautiful place, and the museum itself was amazing. We chose not to film in the museum. No, we felt that it would be disrespectful, and there are certain places you can't get your camera out anyway, and we didn't want to take pictures. We didn't really.
People were walking around taking pictures.
Yeah.
We felt it. We felt it was. Especially you, I was okay with taking pictures, I'll be honest, but you just didn't want to. You just didn't want to show, because it means a hell of a lot to you, doesn't it?
It does, and I don't know anyone who was involved in it, but for me personally, I connect with it so much more than
You just wanted to show respect to it, didn't you?
I did, I really did, and so that's why I didn't really get the camera out, but I did show the fountains and stuff.
Two things, so we used two classes that day, so the museum and then
the tour. So we had to walk up to this, I don't know what it's called, it was like another small museum, wasn't it?
The Memorial Museum or something. So literally you have to go down, and you've got to walk south on the Manhattan Island down to the museum, the tour museum, and then you go in there and they book you a time slot for the tour, and then you get to go around the museum and look in the museum.
Yeah, and there was lots of artifacts, like the museum at the actual 9/11 itself. They have a museum there full of artifacts and stories.
Well, the museum there is actually on the site of the tragedy,
which is also very bizarre, because you go down and you're at the footprint of the actual.
You're in the foundations.
It's crazy, isn't it? But it's amazing how they've done it. But yeah, this tour is always done by someone who was in the building, someone who was a rescue worker, someone who was there,
resident,
and then someone who might be a resident who lived in the area. So someone who is closely connected to the actual event will take you on the tour, which is absolutely amazing, because they're volunteers as well, and they have over 100 volunteers who take you on this tour. We were very lucky to have this lovely gentleman who
you see in the vlog. There is a video, a small video of him in the vlog.
Yeah, he was amazing. He was a resident. I don't want to say too much about his story, because that's his story to tell and not ours. But he was there when it happened. Him and his family are okay. But it was amazing to hear what he saw on that day, and how him
the resilience.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other side of this whole event, like people who were trying to get to work and not even knowing this event was a happening, was amazing to hear. But yeah, he took you around. He took you around the fountains. They had photos. They had lots of stories to tell. And then it started raining, of course. And he took us into the shopping centre that's opposite.
Good place to take us.
I know, but we could still see the fountains, and he was still telling his story, and he was such a lovely gentleman, and he did not take any tips at the end. We saw a lot of people who wanted to give him money, and he really didn't want to take the money. He just says he's happy for people to hear his story, and I think that's amazing. And if he did take the money, he was going to put it towards the museum.
So people were literally palming it off on him, literally.
Yeah.
And he said no, he'll donate it to the local charities that they deal with.
And I think that's just an incredible, remarkable gentleman that we met, and we were. Honestly, I was so pleased we waited around for that tour. So it meant we didn't see the Statue of Liberty, which was on
this
our plan.
took up the whole day. So we were there. We got to 9/11. What, 9 o'clock in the morning? 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah, we did.
And we didn't finish his tour till with the museum and that we didn't finish it till like 3 o'clock ish, and then the bus had to wait for the bus to get all the way back.
Yeah.
So it ended up being a long day where we thought we'd then take, because the plan was to take the Staten Island ferry, across the Staten Island.
Which is free. So if you are wanting to go to see the Statue of Liberty, go and use the free ferry that takes you across.
Many people have told us.
Yeah, apparently you get a good view. You can get there and back, and you can take as many photos as you want, and it's free. So I would suggest that instead of using a New York City pass.
Or paying for the boat. Because you have to pay for a boat to get to the island, and then you've got to pay to get up into the statue. So you got to pay twofold to do that, didn't you?
And I mean, if you want to do that, do that. If you want to go to the top of the Statue of Liberty, do it. But if you just want to have your picture, then I would say go for the free ferry. We chose not to, because when you're on the hop on and hop off bus, you do get to see the statue. Yes, she's quite far away, but you do technically get to see her, and we were happy we could say we saw the Statue of Liberty.
And in all the awe of New York, actually, she seems quite small compared to everything else.
I know.
I
was so surprised to see that she was like quite small. Okay, so the next one that we used was the Radio City tour. Which is a beautiful theatre. So
we're told you're not allowed to film in there, so that's why there's no video really of us in there. No. So that is one thing. So literally you have to go through this special entrance, you get security, literally have to check your bags in and everything and all that.
But you are allowed to take lots of photos, so
just not video.
Yeah, so you can see a lot of photos, and again you get taken around this. It's a beautiful theatre. Like, when was it?
It's like in the 30s, I think. Something.
Oh, it's like you've gone into a time machine and you've gone back in time, and it's
literally how it was there and then. You know, they've updated it for health and safety reasons and things like that. But disability access is amazing in there, because literally you can walk straight in, can't you?
Yeah.
But the stage, because you do a lot of stuff on stage.
I do.
The stage, it's got hydraulics. I think there's a picture of hydraulics.
Oh, it's just amazing.
Yeah, moving the stage up and down, and kind of how it was designed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think the reason, you know, the big thing I took from it is how beautiful the building is. But there's a specialist room up there, where the person who built it, was here. They gave him it as an apartment. He said no, he didn't want to live there, where he worked as well. So they used it for like corporate functions and things like that. And Walt Disney was in that room. Yes,
many famous people went into that room. Judy Garland was one of them, and Walt Disney, and so many others. He reeled off a load of names, but when we heard Walt Disney had actually been in that room, and we were standing in that room as well, we were like,
yeah. And you're not allowed to touch anything in that room, because it's the original stuff in that room. And then it just like, oh my god! And they had a picture of Walt Disney, which is in the vlog, and yeah, just knowing Walt Disney had been in that room. I think it's the same for like Disneyland California with the fire station. If anybody knows, that was his office in Disneyland California.
Yeah.
Knowing Walt Disney had been in that room, considering how much we do Disney.
We do. That was amazing. As also part of the tour is it's the famous place where the Rockettes perform. If you don't know what the Rockettes are, please go and have a look at them on YouTube. They are like a dance troupe, and they are incredible. Like, the precision,
going for years in America,
is incredible. Honestly, I didn't actually know much about them until I went on this tour. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the best dancer. I'm not really into dance as much, but when I got to see some of the pictures of their routines and stuff during this tour, I wanted to go and have a look at it, and especially this famous Christmas dance that they do every year. It's amazing. Go on YouTube and go and have a look at it. It's incredible. And we got to meet a Rockette on the tour, which there is a picture, and she was lovely, but she was telling us about the routine and the schedule that a Rockette has to do, and wow, it is extreme, really extreme. But that's why they're so good, isn't it? Yeah. And there's a rigorous audition process as well to become
You have to re-audition every year for your own job, basically.
Yeah, but it was so nice to meet her. She was so lovely. She was all glammed up, and I was like, oh. And then there was a couple of the costumes there that we saw. And lots of famous people have played at this theatre, like Elton John, Ed Sheeran, Dolly Parton. Gosh.
Impractical Jokers.
Yes. Oh, there's so many, because every time you went down a hallway, it was kind of dedicated to a certain themed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it was good. Honestly, we would definitely highly recommend anyone to do the Radio City
It's only
tour.
about an hour and a half tour, because they've got another tour coming round, so they have to time it and all that. But it was well worth it. It was a nice tour to see that. And actually, you might see the entrance if you ever watch Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. As you see him going into the Rockefeller Center, you see the Radio City behind him.
Yeah.
If you see the beginning entrance of that show.
And we didn't really know what to expect from that tour, but we really came out of it enjoying it, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah.
And then opposite there is the Top of the Rock.
Rockefeller Center.
Which I went up, which again is incredible. So Alan stayed downstairs. What was downstairs that you did while I went upstairs?
I went and got a Starbucks, a strawberry, acai, whatever you want to call it.
Well, I went up to the top. It was like a 17-second or 20-second.
I thought you said about 40 seconds.
Was it 40?
Yeah, it's about
40.
40.
I can't remember, but I know it's in seconds. This lift takes you all the way to this top, and then there's lights flashing, and you'll see it in the vlog as well. And there's like images projected into this lift, and it's really funky. There's funky music, and at first I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, but when I got out, the views are sensational. And it was really windy up there, but it was bright.
We managed to get good weather, because it wasn't good in the morning.
You'll see me where I'm really upset because it's raining, and I really wanted to go to the Top of the Rock, and I thought I wouldn't have been able to do it. And then by the afternoon, this sunshine came out, and I was just so lucky to get the pictures that I did. There were actually, to be fair, it wasn't that busy when I got to the top. I don't know what it's like at the top of the Empire State Building. I don't know whether that's busier because there's more.
Because it's the Empire State Building, yeah.
Yeah, it's more infamous, isn't it, than Top of the Rock. But I tell you what, the Top of the Rock is well worth going up. The views are so good, and you can go. So you go to the top, and then there's another level to go up as well, so you can get to the top. But you know what? You can't look down. You can't see all the way down, and you can see all the infamous buildings, like the Empire State Building, like the Statue of Liberty. I think I pointed it out. You can see Central Park.
Tower 1.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. So
I've seen the videos.
You saw the videos. He was
Still didn't like them.
He's always like, when I go off on these adventures by myself, he's always worried to see what I do get up to, because I do kind of push myself a bit.
Push the limits that I don't like, that gets my anxiety going.
Oops. But I had the best time up there. It was so cool. I was up there for about half an hour, wasn't I?
Yeah.
40 minutes.
So I managed to walk around, because there's a bit of a shopping centre down below. I had to wander around there, and
then we went outside the Rockefeller Center to the skating rink, didn't we?
Skate rink, yeah.
Yeah, and that was really nice as well. We had a nice little look round. There's some really good ice skaters there. There was some really
And I believe that's all free, isn't it, that ice skating rink?
That's amazing. We don't really get that in the UK. If you go to an ice skating rink, you have to pay over the ends, and
Do you get the one at National History at Christmas and places like that?
Yeah, so. Yeah. And then that's it. That's all our passes that we used for
the city, the Go Pass and all that, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about our hotel.
So we stayed in the Distrikt Hotel, which was on West 42 and 8th Street, if I remember rightly.
It was a really lovely hotel. It had like 32 floors.
Or something like that. It's a small hotel, so there's only about 4 rooms per floor.
Yeah.
And it's opposite the bus transit building. So it is close to the transit building, and it's close to Times Square. Literally, it's about a 5-minute walk.
I couldn't believe it, because when we flew in and we had that evening and we went to Times Square, it was literally just around the corner. I couldn't believe it, how close we were.
It's literally literally we had to walk 1 block across and 5 blocks up, and you're in Times Square. Literally, that's how close it was.
It was so cool. It was so good.
Approximately about that, yeah. And it was really, really nice.
Oh, we got a complimentary drink, didn't we?
So basically, in New York, you have to pay resort fees, or they sort of call it city tax.
Yeah.
Like you do in Vegas and places like that.
Just be aware of that when you're budgeting any type of holiday to America. Budget that in.
So it was £25 or dollars per day, not per person, thank God, just per room.
Yeah.
But that gave you complimentary Wi-Fi, 2 free bottles of water in your room, and 2 free drinks at the bar every evening or for every day of your stay.
Yeah.
If you signed up to Hilton Rewards, because it's a Hilton hotel, the Distrikt is a Hilton hotel, you actually get an extra complimentary drink as well, and I think with your Hilton club and everything, and you get Wi-Fi, so the Wi-Fi is really good in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was a small room compared to All Stars, which we stayed at All Star Movies.
That's at Disney World.
Yeah. It is the room was smaller than that, much smaller than even that room. It literally had one, as you see in the video, 1 bed.
Yeah.
Even All Stars have 2.
We will talk about our Disney hotels in another book.
But yeah, that kind of, even comparing it to that, it's a nice. It was still a nice hotel. It was clean. It had a good the shower was amazing.
Yes.
Had like one of these rainfall style shower type things.
Yeah.
Really good shower.
And then one day we had an issue where the bins hadn't been picked up, so I called down and I just said, could we get a collection? They did it within the space of 20 minutes. They were there ready to pick up our rubbish. So they were so helpful for anything that we needed.
Yeah.
If we needed any advice on anything, we went to the front desk and they were always able to help us.
Yeah.
Very good staff.
Yeah, very nice hotel. Very centrally positioned, so yeah, it was a good hotel. Can't complain for the money we paid. You know, let's be honest, it's not 5-star hotel, but when you're spending most of your time out and you just want someone to sleep and rest,
it's perfect, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's going to be the end of part 1 of our New York trip report, because there's so much to talk about and it's going to turn into a long vlog. So come back in next week and we will be talking about the food, Broadway. There's going to be a big discussion on Broadway and our overall general experience. Bye guys.